Chief Anette Sanford is the Kalinago chief and head of the Kalinago Council of the Commonwealth of Dominica. She's the first woman to serve as chief of the Kalinago territory in 400 years. Chief Sanford obtained an Associate of Arts in Nursing from the Dominica State College, a Bachelor's in Nursing from the University of Edinburgh, a postgraduate certificate in health care administration from the St. Lawrence College in Canada, and she's now pursuing a Master of Arts in International Public Health with the University of Liverpool. Chief Anette Sanford is a known community leader. She works towards empowering Indigenous people through education and skills, reducing poverty through sustainable projects, and the preservation of Indigenous people's culture. In 2018, Chief Anette Sanford launched Natari Care Services, a program to train professional caregivers for the elderly, children, and the disabled. 17 students completed the program in the first offering. Chief Anette Sanford is also a farmer, a wife, mother, and is the second female from the Kalinago territory to serve in Parliament on behalf of the Indigenous people. She serves as a senator for the United Workers' Party in the House of Assembly from 10th February 2020 to 6th December 2022. We welcome Chief Anette Sanford all the way from Dominica. Sakpase.
Thank you so much for that wonderful welcome. I am really honored to be here today. Ladies and gentlemen, elders, artists, scholars, cultural keepers, and friends from across the globes. All of you who are listening, it's really, really a pleasure to be here. I say Mabrika, and I welcome you in the spirit of resilience, remembrance, and responsibility, not only as a participant in this important conversation, but as the Kalinago chief of the Indigenous people of Dominica. I carry with me the voices of my people, the strength of our ancestors, and a deep sense of duty to honor and to protect our shared heritage as First Peoples of this region. This is more than a webinar. It is a space of truth-telling, of memory keeping, and of vision building. Today, we are here together to examine not just a moment in history, but a wound, a resistance, and a legacy. Leper's Hill stands as both a physical place and a symbol, the site where Indigenous Grenadians, faced with the horror of colonial enslavement, chose to leap to their deaths rather than surrender their freedom. On May 30th, 1650, they made a haunting and heroic stand, one that demands remembrance, not silence. We, the Kalinagos in Dominica, recognize this moment as an important moment in our history, and that's why we are part of this discussion today. The theme that the featured speaker will speak of, portraiture and indigeneity, how does art function as revisionism, ask us to look deeply and critically at the ways in which art can correct the record. For too long, the faces of the indigenous have been erased, distorted, or romanticized through the colonial lens. Today we ask, how can portraiture restore dignity, presence, and voice to those made invisible? How can creativity become a counter-narrative to conquest? As we reflect on the meaning of this day and its tragic origins, we are also invited to rethink how we see history and who gets to paint it. Through brushstrokes, sculpture, photography, and multimedia, contemporary Indigenous and allied artists are challenging erasure, reconstructing memory, and asserting identity. This lecture today will not only honor the past, but will help shape the future, one where art does not merely decorate our culture, but defines and defends it. To our panelists, our presenters, artists, and educators, we thank you for bringing your vision and your voice to this collective exploration. And to all the participants, your presence is part of the act of remembrance. You are helping to build the momentum for recognition, for healing, and ultimately for justice. So let us learn, Let us question. Let us remember. Let this gathering here today be more than academic. Let it stir something in our collective spirit. Let it awaken our responsibility to protect, to preserve, and pass on the knowledge and memory of those who came before. Let us lift up May 30th and let us never let it fall into forgetting. And I'm hoping that this presentation here today will help ignite that spark within the leaders across Grenada to listen to the voice of the Indigenous people and grant them that special day where they can recognize and remember our heroes who stood before us and declare May 30th as a national day for the Indigenous people across the region. I leave with you this short poem. And so we gather in memory, but we speak in fire, etching truth across the silence with every brush, every word, every name restored. For they did not fall, they rose, and today we rise with them. A special welcome to each and every one of you. And thank you for this opportunity for allowing me here to be here today to express solidarity with my Indigenous brothers and sisters in Grenada. Thank you so much.
Mavrika, Mavrika. Thank you for being with us in Grenada and all around the world where we are located. And your presence means a lot to us, and I deeply appreciate that you acknowledge our featured speakers' quest to look at how portraiture can redefine indigeneity and how Indigenous people are represented. And I really appreciate your call to the lawmakers to acknowledge the sacrifice of the people who chose a life of freedom rather than subjugation. And there are a lot of circumstances that we may not know exactly what happened, but we acknowledge their sacrifice. And I am grateful that you acknowledge that it's our history. You didn't say the Kalinago people of Grenada and what they did, and how it affected whomever. You said it's us, it's ours. So thank you very much, Chief Anette Sanford.
You're welcome.
All you look out for her. Big things in the Caribbean.